Hi there, I'm Dr. Jim Collins. I'm a gerontologist, and I have a question for you before I introduce myself to you. Have you ever stopped to think in your career or your profession, was I really meant to do this? Now, there was a time I wanted to be a mortician or an English professor or a full-time punk rock star. Seriously. But then everything changed in my life and I became a gerontologist. So I did an interesting thing to prepare for this video. I wrote my whole life down on a sheet of paper. So when I was around 10 years old, my mother and my aunts would take me to a nursing home. It was 3 stories high. It was originally built to be a hospital, but never turned into a hospital. It was a nursing home, skilled nursing home. And my grandfather, John, had severe dementia, or actually what they called it back then in the 1970s, organic brain disorder. Do you remember that? Very funny. We don't call it that anymore in heaven for decades. So we would visit, and he would have a lot of behavior, aggression, confusion, and it was very hard for me to visit and to watch. But I became extremely interested in what was wrong with my grandfather. Years later, my mother was working at a nursing home and ended up working there for 30 years and actually dying in the same nursing home. A beautiful death. But she never liked to drive. So, after stealing my dad's car from the age of 15 forward, when I turned 16, he said, "Son, here's a car, but you have to take your mom to work every day, and you have to pick her up after work and take her home every night." Luckily, the high school I was attending was about 8 minutes away, so I said absolutely. I would drop her off in the morning, and then I would go to school, get out at 2:30, run up the street. She was still on her shift until 3. I parked the car, I went in, I hung out with the nursing home residents, with the nursing staff, the nursing assistants, the activity professional, everybody. And I had a great time. And it was at that time, I was 16. I looked around, took it all in, and I said, I feel like I belong here. I feel like I could do this. I don't know what, when, how, but I'm going to do something in the field of aging. Then I went to college, and they did not have a bachelor's degree in gerontology. So I went to the Dean of Arts and I said, I would like to put together my own degree and let's call it Applied Gerontological Studies. I took courses out of psychology, sociology, biology, pre-med, nutrition, everywhere, put it together, and he okayed it. So I was the first one at this particular university to graduate with a degree I created. So I graduated one day, had a party the next day, got in my car and went to graduate school the next day out of town. And there I studied sociology, gerontology, the psychology of aging, got a master's degree in 4 semesters, and got certified in the Institute for Lifespan Development and Gerontology. Okay. Graduated from graduate school, went home, got together with a good friend. We put our own business together, a geropsychiatric practice, and we provided geropsychiatric services in 100 or more nursing homes and had a wonderful time. And working side by side with 7 psychiatrists made me feel extremely normal. I can tell you that much. So they were wonderful people and we had a great time. But then I moved on to form my own nursing home consulting firm, and I was extremely busy, busier than I anticipated. So while I was consulting, I started teaching at 3 or 4 colleges and universities. I went back for my PhD and then became a major consultant for a very large skilled nursing company. That's when I wrote my first book, The Person-Centered Way, Revolutionizing Quality of Life in Long-Term Care, and it did very, very well. Then I went on to build Collins Learning, and with the help of wonderful colleagues and friends, CEU Academy. I began researching CBD, cannabidiol, that healthy little molecule out of the medical hemp plant, wrote my second book, Living Longer and Stronger with CBD, and started a CBD business, Sapphire Essentials CBD. So, through Collins Learning, CEU Academy, Sapphire Essentials, and my very busy blog, drjimcollins.com, we're reaching people in every state around the United States and some countries around the world. And it's a lot of fun when people from around the world email me and let me know that they're watching our videos and reading my articles. So my passion lives on in creating educational and training content in senior care, publishing articles and videos, making friends all over the United States and around the world. So please, if you'd like to learn more, visit collinslearning.com, ceu.academy, sapphire-essentials.com, those are my 3 companies, or my blog, drjimcollins.com. And of course, if you'd like to chit-chat, email me anytime, jim@collinslearning.com. And I do wish you the very best in health, wellness, and happiness.